Luka wrapped some. Hey, you never know. Jeff dug through his pockets for a bit. Mr. Kerr winked with a wry smile. He gave Luka an energetic thump on the shoulder. Beck took a long breath, then gave a firm nod. Chapter 4. Dinner with the Moodwills. Ilona Moodwill was worried about change. A gardener at heart, she understood the necessity of change, relied on it even. But there was a difference between the controlled world of her plants and this cluttered cottage in a strange town. Almost done. Nellie was a blur of activity, digging through boxes. Sorry, love, couldn't find the dishes. We'll have to make do with paper plates. Dinner went by without much conversation. As she watched Beck and Luka finish up their pizza, Ilona let herself relax into the chair. The things she cared about were still here. Nellie finally had the job of her dreams. Beck was beginning to take root. Ilona's task was simply to tend to them. She could do that. Luka's eyes were fixed to his plate, pushing a chunk of pineapple around with his finger. Nellie was the one who eventually broke the silence. Ilona nervously gestured toward the boxes. Luka wiped his face with his sleeve. Beck gave Luka a swift kick under the table. Luka glanced over to Beck. She seemed to be holding her breath. Beck slammed her fist into the table. Perhaps harder than she intended. Luka glanced outside to gauge the time. The sky was darker than he expected, filled with ominous clouds. Luka wiped his mouth one last time with his napkin and started to get up. Surprised, Luka turned around. He knew Rollo could be prickly around new people. But Beck seemed cool. Rollo would warm up to her eventually. Probably. Luka began to respond, but the sky answered for him as the clouds above began to rumble with ominous thunder. Luka surveyed the roiling clouds. At that moment, the heavens opened up, unleashing torrential rain. Luka bent down to examine the bouquet of wilting flowers. Judging by the odor, they were well past their prime. He flipped open the attached card. Luka flicked at one of the toggles. Luka squinted into the eye hole of the microscope. Luka adjusted the slide with his fingers to get a better look. Luka wiped his hand off on his sweater and gave a nervous laugh. Beck looked down, timidly tapping the ladder with her feet. Beck took a moment to watch the rivulets of water running down the window. Luka took a deep breath, exhaling slowly. Luka let out a feral scream that echoed into the night. Her voice dropped to a trembling whisper. Brushed off her shirt and straightened up. As abruptly as it began, the storm abated. Beck gave Luka a light thump on the arm before heading in. Chapter 5. Friendly Feud. The air was heavy with the hard rain's residue. the smell of wet things. Despite his dreary surroundings, Luka felt at peace. He'd never shared those details about his dad with anyone, not even Rollo. But it's not like this changed anything. Rollo was still his best friend. Adding Beck to the group would help balance things out. Everything's better in threes. This is what Luka told himself as he headed to the treehouse. Luka had only ever heard him speak in this stiff yet gentle tone a few times, and it always meant one thing. Rollo scoffed. Luka stumbled on his words, knowing he'd said too much. Luka became instinctively angry in response. Both boys were now shouting across the distance. Rollo's tone changed to a calm, yet more intense anger. The words hung in the cold night air. Rollo's stomach dropped, knowing he'd crossed a line, but it was too late. Luka dug through his old stuff, not even sure what he was looking for. Gran cooed gently from the hallway. Luka just wanted to be alone. He waited to hear the sound of the front door closing. Luka dozed off again. Luka still couldn't bring himself to go out. Besides, if he ran into Rollo, he'd have to actually confront the situation. The Adventures of Hank Atomic. Luka carefully opened the cover and began to read. Rollo had received it for his birthday, a special hardcover edition with behind-the-scenes commentary and bonus art. Rollo cherished it, but asked that Luka keep it at his house. Luka wasn't sure if it was because Rollo didn't trust himself with it, didn't trust his sister around it, or just wanted an excuse to come hang out at Luka's more often. Whatever the reason, Luka didn't mind, but it had stayed right there where Rollo had stashed it ever since. Now, at the foot of his bed, Luka lost himself in the pages. He'd read it all before, but at this moment, it somehow felt sentimental. He was well into issue number 5 when he heard soft footsteps from the hallway. Without realizing it, Luka had pouted away the entire afternoon. He once again felt the weight of it all and allowed his weary eyes to close. Luka stood in a vast black expanse. He looked up at his father standing beside him. Walt was working a straw at the bottom of a fountain glass, trying to collect the last bits of milkshake. "Dad, where are we?" Taking a final loud gurgling sip, his father peered up from the glass. He jangled the straw playfully with a warm smile, then lifted the empty glass as if to point into the darkness. "The source?" Luka's eyes followed his father's gesture. In an instant, he was sitting in front of a blazing campfire. Across from him sat a large figure in a yellow hazmat suit. The figure's voice was a scratchy echo. "Well, if it isn't the man of the hour, make yourself comfortable." Luka held his shivering hands over the flame to warm himself. "It doesn't work that way here." Their yellow-gloved hand pointed to the base of the flame. "It's a cold flame, see?" Luka peered at the base of the fire. It wasn't wood that was burning. It was Beacon Pines itself. Tiny buildings, freezing and crumbling as they were consumed by flame. Luka could see small shadows moving in the burning city. People. Luka leapt to his feet. "We've got to help them!" The figure gave a dismissive wave of their hand. "Why waste energy helping people who can't even help themselves?" The figure bent down to examine the panicked crowd as they desperately tried to stop the flames. "They only care about what's right in front of them. Not like us." Luka's voice was a trembling whisper. "Us?" The figure slowly stood up, grabbing its helmet with both hands. With a jolt and a twist, the suit emitted a gasp. A cloud of torpid mist escaped, slowly revealing the face within. Luka's own face looked back at him. Older, worn, distant. The sensation was oddly familiar, as if he'd caught his own reflection by surprise in the mirror. The doppelganger smiled. "I tried to help once." He gestured towards his face. "And all it got me was this." Luka staggered back. "You aren't me." Luka felt a hand catch his shoulder. His father was there again, beside him. "Every choice sets us on a path. This is the end of one of your paths, son." Luka watched his older self shake its head ruefully, its face twisting into a cruel grin. "Welp, Dad, if you wanted him to see this, far be it from me to disappoint." Luka watched in shock as the figure took a confident step forward and plunged into the flames. In a flash of cold light, he was gone. What does all of this mean? Luka felt a reassuring squeeze on his shoulder. Just remember, why we choose matters just as much as what we choose. Luka woke up to see a hazy figure at the foot of his bed, silhouetted in the morning sun. Luka rubbed his eyes. The kind, concerned face of his gran came into focus. Gran silenced Luka with a gentle pat on the leg. Luka gave a reluctant nod. Luka took a deep breath. Chapter 6. Through thick and thin.